Hello, Lower Dauphin families and staff. This is Rob Schultz, Superintendent of Schools, and it is Tuesday, August 24th, and I want to provide you with an update to our health and safety plan for the upcoming school year. Last evening at our board meeting, we made some changes to the plan, specifically in the area of face coverings. These changes to the health and safety plan will go into effect Monday, August 30th, which is our first day of school. I want to review with you a piece of the plan that did not change, and that is in regard to the use of face coverings for all students and all staff, K to 12, when they're on district transportation. That includes buses and vans. This is in line with the January 29th, 2021 order from the CDC that everyone on public transportation will wear face coverings. So that did not change. We looked at our students in categories of who is eligible for to be fully vaccinated and who is able to be fully vaccinated amongst our staff. And our staff, obviously, anyone who wants to be vaccinated at this point can be vaccinated. So we are making face coverings for all of our staff, K through 12, optional. And for our high school students who are all eligible to be fully vaccinated, we are going to continue to make face coverings optional for our students 9 through 12 while in our buildings. Face coverings for students in grades K through 8 will be required if the transmission rate in Dauphin County is either high or substantial. And I'll review with you where we can find that information and how we will track that information later in the presentation. So again, based on our middle school and elementary students not all being able to be fully vaccinated, will require students in those buildings to wear face coverings when the transmission level is high for a 14-day period. We are not going to bounce back and forth day to day or week to week. We will look at this in 14-day increments and make sure that if the level changes from high to low or from substantial to moderate in a 14-day period, we stick with wherever we are until we have 2 weeks of change. And I'll review that for you in the presentation. So the CDC has a page on their website where they explain not only the number of cases per 100,000, but also the percent positivity during a 7-day period and low transmission for cases per 100,000 in Dauphin County would have to be from 0 to 9.99. Moderate is 10 to 49.99. And substantial is 50 to 99.99. And high transmission is 100 cases per 100,000 or more than 100 cases. Percent positivity, the low transmission rate is 0 to 4.99. Moderate is 5 to 7.99, and substantial is 8 to 9.99, and then anything over 10% positivity is considered high transmission. We are currently in high transmission for both of these measures, and it is telling us that the CDC indicators, if one of them is higher than the other, that is the one we should use. So let's say, for instance, we're in moderate transmission level for the number of cases per 100,000, but our percent positivity is in substantial. We would use the percent positivity to make the determination of where we are for that period of time. This slide has a link to information from the CDC that is specific for our county. One of the pieces of data that you can find when you click on that link and put in Pennsylvania and then Dauphin County is the number of people per 100,000 that have tested positive in the last 7 days. And as per this slide, there's 164 people have tested positive. Now that is through Sunday, August 22nd. And again, I'm doing this video on Tuesday, August 24th. So there is a 2-day lag there. But what I will do is I will look at this data every Friday. There'll be a 2-day lag, but I'm going to look at it on Fridays and we'll make the decision for that time period based on that Friday reading. The same is true for the data regarding the percent positivity, it can be found on that same web page after you go to the link that I provided in this presentation. And as you can see, the percent positivity for Dauphin County came out on Friday, August 20th. So 4 days ago. That's the most recent data they have, which is the Friday, August 20th data. And the percent positivity was 10.6. The good news there is that is down 0.86%. And also good news, if we go back to the slide with the number of cases per 100,000, that is down 12.2%. So that's good news, moving in the right direction. Have a while to go yet to move to where we need to be before we start looking at removing the requirement for face coverings for our K-8 students. But again, how that will work is I will take a look at that each Friday. And when we have 2 Fridays in a row that we're down in either the low or moderate reading for those 2 measures, that would be a great thing. And then I would notify families and staff that in the K-8 buildings that the numbers would have changed. And then that following Monday, we would be able to go back to school and have the option of deciding if you want your child to have a face covering. Now, if we can get to that level, which I'm hoping we can and hoping we can soon, that would be good news for our community because the number of cases would be down. And we would then, if we change to the optional, we would stay in the optional until we have 2 weeks that are not low or moderate. So it would take 2 consecutive weeks of substantial or high numbers in both those measures or in those measures to make us shift back to requiring face coverings. And I would do that the same way I would notify you if we're moving to the optional. So the key to this is please monitor your symptoms prior to coming to school or school activities. The key to our success to being able to keep schools open and to keep programs running is that if you're not feeling well or you know your child's not feeling well, please have them stay home. That goes for our students and our staff. I know our students, many of them like to be in school for that social aspect, and they learn much better when they're in school face to face. But many of us do get sick from time to time. And whether it's COVID symptoms or something else, the key is please stay home. If you push it because you want to be part of an activity, you may not only be shutting that activity down for yourself, but for your friends. So it's really important that we all do what's right and monitor those symptoms and don't come to school. But if you're at school and you're not feeling well, please go to the nurse immediately so that we can make sure you can isolate and go home and get better. One other thing that I wanted to talk about since I was doing this update is a change in our lunch program. So I'm going to shift gears here a little bit from COVID and talk a little bit about what's called the Seamless Summer Option. We applied for this year and have received approval to be part of the SSO, which provides each student, regardless of household income, regardless of free or reduced lunch status, or if you don't qualify for free or reduced lunch status, the ability to receive 1 type A lunch and 1 type A breakfast per day. What it does not do, and this is what I want to make sure people are clear on so that you can do your planning financially for your family and you don't end up having charges to your lunch account accumulate. What's not free with the SSO is anything past 1 type A lunch and 1 type A breakfast. Additional type A lunches, additional breakfast, any a la carte item, including drinks that do not come with the type A lunch, are still things that are not covered under the SSO, and you would need to pay for those or incur a charge. So wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that and how that would operate this school year, because that is very different than our lunch program from last year. So that's the end of my presentation. If you have questions, please reach out to your building principals. Please reach out to me. We want to make sure everybody's on the same page as we get ready to start the new school year. I'm very excited to see the students and the staff come back and see all the school activities that we have and provide for students. So take care.